This is Nitin Dahad, and I'm here at the OCP Summit in San Jose, in California, and I'm talking to Arie van der Hoeven, who is responsible for sustainability and security and circularity at Seagate. Arie, hello, how are you?
Thank you, Nitin. Doing well, thank you.
Good. Arie, just tell me a little bit about your role. What do you do? Because I don't know if I described it right.
Well, you did. I mean, we have a very large security group and a very large sustainability group at Seagate. My role is on the technical marketing team to kind of be the ecosystem engagement part of that. Also, I have a background in security and sustainability, and I also go very technical. So I try and be the face and represent Seagate at events like OCP.
Okay, and so you're involved in talking to data centers, the CSPs, and various other people to talk about these issues and how they can improve those. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And beyond, OCP involves many of the hyperscalers, and we have an OCP sustainability group here that is very active. So we see a lot of the big players here being very involved. So we love the momentum we're gaining on sustainability. We're also members of other organizations like IEEE and the Circular Drive Initiative as well. So I wear many hats, and I'm here for Seagate, but I also in some ways represent some of these other orgs.
Now, when I was chatting to you earlier, I think some of the things you do, and we'll go into a little bit of detail later, but it's all around tech for good. So you're really, although that's not how you label it, but it's kind of how you're trying to ensure that drives that are going into market, into resale, are sustainable and circular and secure.
Absolutely, and I think I mentioned that's one reason I love working at Seagate is because, sustainability can be a cost center. Circularity, if too many drives come back into the ecosystem, those are drives we aren't selling. And I'm given the green light to go ahead and push in these initiatives with a lot of confidence. So I have the full backing there. And we're also looking at working with the industry to understand what are the true costs. We know that according to Microsoft and their Azure study, that a very high percentage, like over 60% of the embodied carbon in a data center is storage. And we're trying to find out. We believe that hard drives, which are our main product, are the most sustainable part of that. But at the same time, we're trying to working with everyone to get better carbon accounting. And you'll hear that word a lot this week.
Okay, and so tell me, what's the key message you're trying to, you're doing a talk here as well, what's the key message you're trying to communicate here?
I think a key message is trying to balance the needs of security with the need to also look at how we can not be destroying millions or tens of millions of drives every year. And these are all drives with usable life left. Okay. So we're looking at a very high carbon impact that the industry has now. At the same time, we do have legitimate security concerns, and there are efforts inside OCP security to say, hey, years from now we have this vision of all these implementations we can do to help improve that. What we'd like to see is more movement sooner, but at the same time, and I think I've called it the absurdity of security, but if you're a security professional, you get paid for being paranoid, and there are real risks out there.
Yeah, I know a few of those. So I think we're going to talk about the absurdity of security, but let's sort of, to precursor to that is, tell me a little bit about some of the standards, IEEE standards, and how that drills down into the silicon, I guess.
Yeah, certainly. The IEEE 2883 standard for data sanitization is it's actually the successor to the NIST 888, which was a set of recommendations, and now we have requirements in IEEE. So we have a strong group of folks across the storage industry who are involved in defining that specification and defining standards for clear, which is just when you erase your drive. And then purge is when you actually do something that significantly goes and overwrites all the data on your drive or cryptographic erases it. And then the third part of that standard is destruct. Which often means shredding a drive to 2 millimeter by 2 millimeter.
Yeah, I think you told me you degauss them and then shred them 2 millimeter by 2 millimeter.
Yeah. And on top of that, the data is encrypted to begin with, so it's a very high bar.
So I think the standards, you've got OCP Safe, you've got Lock, you've got Calyptra. Tell me a little bit about all of those and how they all interlink.
Yeah, and I think this is a very positive thing where you have the OCP Sustainability Group and the security folks saying, hey, how do we get to this common mission? So the first one we'll talk about is Safe. which is really a appraisal framework of auditing, where there are 8 auditors at least as of today, where we can go as a company, we can say, hey, we're going to work with one of these auditors and they're going to follow this OCP checklist of a large number of review areas. And initially we were a little bit hesitant. We're like, this is just another process we don't need. We looked into it and it was just really solid stuff. I mean, it was stuff, some of it we were thinking about, and some of it was new to us and helped drive conversations. So we're making the investment in OCP Safe at Seagate. Calipra is a silicon-based root of trust, and it's newer anyway. We've been having our own for many years, but we're also looking at Calipra and looking forward to the evolution of Calipra. And then Lock builds on Calipra. That's the layered open source cryptographic key management part of that, to really ensure that if you cryptographically erase a drive, that you know to a standard that's been done correctly.
It's interesting, and so ultimately you're just trying to make sure that those drives, when they go back onto the market, you can't access data that was on there previously.
Yeah, absolutely. And even there's so much data on a drive today.
Yeah.
If you look at how much data there is on today's and future drives as we go to 30, 40, 50 terabyte drives, the value of being able to get your hands on that amount of data is almost indescribable. So we do understand the high bar.
What do you feel most passionately about? Because I think talking to you, you're quite passionate about the cause.
Yeah, I mean, we part of security is saving the planet too.
Yeah.
And if you look at the rates at which we're growing emissions in data centers, and you look at the slice of the pie that belongs to storage devices, it's often overlooked, especially with AI and all the focus on compute. It can't be overlooked. It must get more focus. And that's where we feel hard drives play a large role.
Arie, thank you very much.
Thank you, Nitin.